The funny thing is, common sense has been lost. And we talk about critical thinking, but my gosh, just common sense. Because when you read through this agreement that you pose to the students, and you look at these things, and you're like, this is just common sense. This is what it involves. You know, I've always said when you consider folks, for instance, in literature or in history, you have got to interpret people according to the times in which they lived. We live in a different time now than, say, John Calvin did in the period of the Protestant Reformation, okay? They had different ideas and ways of thinking of the world. And today we want to think that these people are, now we've got to tear down the statues, and now we've got to burn the books and throw them down. It is a slippery slope. It is a dangerously slippery slope when we allow these ideas. And we're not just allowing them, we're promoting these ideas today.
If you're going to get rid of everybody who was not sufficiently woke, then nobody's left. I'll give you an example of this. So, okay, Christopher Columbus is bad because of the things that he did, right? He was he didn't treat people of different races the same way. He was a colonialist. All right, fine. He's got to go. And then yet we replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day, right? And so when do we start to look at how Indians were slaughtering other Indians before white men ever got here, right? So if we're going to hold certain groups responsible for killing and not others, and one more example of this, why is Planned Parenthood allowed to stand? Planned Parenthood was found by a rabid eugenicist by the name of Margaret Sanger in the 1930s. Her racial plan was very much like Hitler's. She wanted abortion to be legal to get rid of black and brown skinned babies. All right, if General Lee has to go because he fought for the wrong side in the Civil War, doesn't Margaret Sanger have to go? And if everything that derives from people like Thomas Jefferson, who owned slaves, of course, right? If Jefferson must be annihilated from culture and every aspect of Jefferson's philosophy, including the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, if they are now nullified because of his slave owning, how is it that Planned Parenthood is celebrated by the same lefties, even when its founder was as big of a racist 200 years later than they were in the colonial days?
Dr. Duke Pesta, you might be my new best friend, actually. I think it's fascinating. It is fascinating. I encourage everybody to go follow Dr. Duke on Twitter. You can find him on Twitter at Duke Pesta. That's Pesta. And I'm telling you, the articles that are there, the Dr. Duke show, folks need to they need to get on board and follow at what you're saying. Because you are spitting some serious education that it's amazing to me that people don't see through the smoke and mirrors that the left has built up for so long.